Let's start with tonight's big numbers, which suggest that compliance with the health protocols have hardly changed since September. In the latest SWS survey, 75% of adults say they still wear face masks, but 67% still wash hands frequently.
58% keep physical distancing and 53% always use the face shield. But when dissected per region, it's only in Metro Manila and Balanced Luzon where compliance with safety protocols have increased. For Visayas and Mindanao, where there is now a rise in cases, observance has fallen drastically. Good evening, I'm Gretchen Ho.
And I'm Robbie Alampay. You're watching The Big Story. Just when cases are surging in Visayas and Mindanao, an SWS survey back in May found that observance of health protocols in both island groups have declined significantly.
In a separate study by the Octa Research Group outside NCR, majority of areas with high infections are found in the two regions. Jem Avancenia has the big story.
Face masks not worn properly, no face shield, no social distancing. This is the typical scenario outside a hospital in South Cotabato. It's the same scenario in General Santos City, which has been recently placed under GCQ. People lining up in banks were not properly distanced.
Hindi ako lumalabas, sa bahay lang ako. Ngayon lang kasi wala kaming ulam.
Pero marami ka napapansin mga pasaway.
Oo, kaya natatakot ako.
More violators were also seen roaming around the city's public market.
Alam ng mga tao na may pinatutupad na social distancing pero di talaga nagagawa yan dito. Wala ring hugas kamay. Sa mask, depende sa tao. Di kasi maiwasan. Yan talaga ugali ng Pinoy.
Non-compliance with protocols is backed up by numbers from the April to May SWS survey. While compliance rose in Metro Manila and Balanced Luzon, it dropped dramatically in Visayas and Mindanao. In terms of wearing masks, results for both regions declined by 14 points. Washing hands slumped by 13 points in Mindanao and 6 points in Visayas. Keeping physical distance slumped by 18 points in Mindanao and by 14 in Visayas. Wearing of face shields declined sharply in the Visayas by 31 points while it dropped by 15 points in Mindanao. Based on the latest report of the Octa Research Group, 8 out of 10 areas with most daily COVID-19 cases are in the two islands. Davao region alone has close to 5,600 active cases. Nearly 3,500 are in Caraga, while more than 3,000 active cases were reported in Soxargen.
The rise in cases ay unti-unti talagang tumataas dito sa Region 11, specific sa Davao City, and meron siyang mga factors ngayon na na-identify tayo, katulad nung clustering sa workplace.
The government is looking at enforcing stricter protocols in Visayas and Mindanao to prevent any further surge in cases. For News 5, Jem Avancenia, we are One News.
To talk more about these numbers on minimum health standards, especially in the Visayas and Mindanao, we have Dr. Ronjin Solante, vaccine expert panel member and head of San Lazaro Hospital's Adult Infectious Diseases and Tropical Medicine Unit. Dr. Solante, welcome po to The Big Story.
Hi, Robbie. Good evening.
Yeah, Doctor, so let's emphasize, no, there is good news sa NCR. Tumataas ang compliance, but yung bad news na pagbaba na sa Visayas at saka Mindanao, that is also backdrop by a surge in cases outside of the NCR. What's the worst case scenario for these regions, lalong-lalo na if they are not used to the higher numbers that apparently is on their way there?
Yeah, the sad part here is that if they continue to have this increase in cases, surge of cases, then they will also experience what the NCR bubble has experienced the last month. No? And it's sad to really hear this non-compliance of the health protocol because we've been telling a lot every day since last year the importance of the compliance of this health protocol, which is the only way we can somehow decrease the risk of transmission among people, especially with increased mobility now, no? Pumupunta na sa work, pumupunta na sa mga transportation. So the risk is always there, but I don't know what happened to our awareness on this matter of prevention.
In the meantime, there is the good news of more vaccine supply coming in. It is accelerating tangibly, perceptibly, undeniably. Dumadami na yung pumapasok na vaccines. But with this concern about minimum health standard compliance, is there a way? Will the numbers on vaccination be able to keep up with the implications of low compliance?
No, because there are already studies abroad that even if you give the highest efficacy vaccine, but you are not implementing the health protocol, then the attack rate, the cases will still be high. That's why when we are implementing vaccination, at the same time, we also have to be strictly implementing also the health protocol at the same time.
Dr. Ronjin Solante, maraming salamat po. More than 1.3 million Filipinos contracted COVID-19 since the pandemic started. While this accounts for a little over 1% of the total population, COVID-19 dealt heavy damage on the economy. There are more than 6,000 new cases today, pushing active infections past 60,000. Death toll from the virus also breached 22,000 with close to 200 new casualties. But recovery rate in the country remains high, with more than 1.2 million Filipinos who survived infection.
These are the other big stories tonight. Fully vaccinated senior citizens may now go for a day out, and those itching to hit the gym may also do so, as the IATF eases restrictions in NCR+. After cases re-emerged in 2019, the World Health Organization and UNICEF say the Philippines has finally eradicated polio once again. And she hasn't won yet, but a contestant on America's Got Talent won the world over. Not just for her performance, but more so for her bravery. These big stories after the break.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's alright to be lost sometimes.
Good evening. You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay. Fully vaccinated senior citizens are no longer Team Bahay after the new guidelines released by the IATF. Fitness enthusiasts could also use their memberships again with gyms reopened up to 30% capacity. Maricel Halili with the report.
Senior citizens in GCQ and modified GCQ areas are now allowed to go out, but that's if they're already fully vaccinated.
Basta ho, ipakita lang ho yung proof ng vaccination nila at syempre yun nga, ipakita rin na ito dapat ay over 2 weeks na nung second dose nila. No? So para talagang mapayagan silang makapasok dito sa mga establishmento.
They were previously barred from exiting their homes since they're highly susceptible to COVID infection. Some senior citizens are now looking forward to a day out.
Para makabanding ko yung mga apo ko, kasi mahilig din magmuli. Masarap kaya.
Okay naman lumabas-labas na medyo naka-exercise ka.
Still, there are limitations to their movement.
Pinagbabawal pa din po sa mga fully vaccinated senior citizens ang interzonal travel maliban sa nauna ng pinayagang point-to-point interzonal travel.
This means elderly people in the NCR Plus bubble won't be able to travel outside Metro Manila, Cavite, Rizal, Laguna, and Bulacan. Similar restrictions apply to other GCQ and MGCQ areas. For Marikina Mayor Marcy Tridoro, there should be clear guidelines first before the new directive is implemented.
There should be, I think, a practice of minimum public health standard for the senior citizen. Fully vaccinated is not so guaranteed that we could rely upon.
The interagency task force also loosened restrictions for some establishments in the NCR Plus bubble. Gyms and other indoor non-contact sports venue may now reopen up to 30% capacity, while historical sites and museums can serve up to 20%. The Octa research team isn't opposed to reopening such businesses since cases in Metro Manila are seeing a decline.
There will always be risks when we ease restrictions, pero we have to take those risks at some point. At least ngayon, nasa moderate risk tayo yung NCR. So it seems to be a time na we can take these risks. And so far, during this period na under GCQ tayo, wala naman tayo nakitang transmissions sa mga workplaces.
Opta says daily cases in NCR average below 1,000 since June 4. Hospital care utilization rate and ICU occupancy rate in the region were also lower. The NCR Plus bubble remains under GCQ with restrictions until June 15. For News 5, Marisol Halili, We Are One News.
Local governments outside Metro Manila are crying foul over the inequitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. But the government assures them more supplies are on the way. Arian Kalumbiran has the details.
Just like it did a few days ago, Antipolo City has once again halted its vaccination drive. In a Facebook post on Friday, Mayor Andeng Inares is leaving it up to fate as they await new doses. As she had said recently, sana all madaming bakuna tulad ng Metro Manila. Despite being part of the NCR Plus bubble, the mayor said their allocation is less than 10% of Manila and Quezon City's allotment. On 1PH sa totoo lang, League of Provinces of the Philippines National Chairman and Quirino Governor Dax Cua said he understands the need to prioritize NCR, but he stressed provinces should not be neglected. Cua is urging the government to provide additional doses to provinces outside the metro.
Sana bigyan natin ng pansin yon kasi kailangan na po talagang mabigyan ng protection yung mga areas na nag-experience ng surge.
On Thursday alone, the country received 3 million additional supply of COVID-19 vaccines. 1 million are from Sinovac, 2.3 million are Pfizer shots donated by the COVAX facility. This marks the largest single delivery of vaccines in the country so far. During the arrival of Pfizer shots, Vaccine Czar Carlito Galvez said areas outside NCR Plus 8 will also get shipments.
We will expand on other areas that we have seen a lot of rising cases. The different areas that have been identified by the President includes Cagayan de Oro, the areas of Visayas, in Iloilo, Bacolod, Samar, Ormoc, and also in the areas of Zamboanga, Pagadian, Cagayan de Oro, and also General Santos.
Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere said they are hoping that vaccine supply in the country will be stable by July or August. She also urged LGUs to speed up vaccinations by expanding their strategies to make inoculations more accessible to Filipinos.
First, master listing should be done. This is the only way that we can organize. Second, we need to enable the environment so that everybody can have more access. No, for example, we can also do on-site aside from on-site vaccination sites, we can do house-to-house, we can do mobile vaccination.
LPP is set to meet this weekend to make a collective stand on the country's prioritization for the vaccine rollout. Arian Kalumbiran, We Are One News.
The Health Department is urging Filipinos not to lie about having comorbidities just to get a COVID-19 jab. In a briefing, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere warned that falsifying medical documents is against the law. She assured the public that all Filipinos will soon receive the vaccine, but for now, they should wait for their turn to be inoculated. Vergere issued this reminder due to reports of vaccinees skipping the line by faking documents.
Pag nagpo-falsify po kasi tayo ng mga sakit natin, meron po yung mga penalties na. Meron na po tayong bina-violate niyan sa ating mga existing laws in the country.
Time for an extra look at some of the day's big stories. The Philippines is now officially polio-free after an outbreak of 17 cases re-emerged in September 2019. The World Health Organization said the country's containment is a major win for public health, even in the midst of COVID-19. The Philippines had last eradicated polio in the year 2000. Recently appointed Chief Justice Alexander Desmundo vowed to work on the guidelines on using body cams in police operations. Desmundo said deliberations will begin June 15 and the final decision may be out by July. And during his tenure, he also wants to revise rules on issuing search and arrest warrants, which critics said are being weaponized against activists. And the presidential race in 2022 is the least of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's concerns right now. That's after several banners depicting his supposed tandem with Davao Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio surfaced on social media. Manila LGU spokesman Julius Leonen told News 5 Moreno has no time for politicking as he's focusing on the city's COVID-19 response. Now for the big story in sports. The Tokyo Olympics is just a few weeks away and 10 Filipinos are gunning for the country's first gold. But how can you catch all the action? Find out in my report. Faster, higher, stronger. This year, the MVP group through Signal TV, TV5, Smart, and PLDT are set to deliver a world-class coverage and immersive Tokyo 2020 Olympic experience. The games would be aired for free on TV5 and on One Sports.
We have a very comprehensive content plan. We have enough airtime to actually ensure that they're aired on TV5 and in One Sports, as you say, Channel 41. Yan po, no? We're making sure that all of them will be there.
Signal TV is also opening up 2 exclusive channels to broadcast the games 24/7. Live updates, exclusive content, coverages, and highlights will also be available for Signal Play subscribers. Smart, meanwhile, will be offering wide coverage of the Olympics through their promos and the gigafest.smart website. PLDT will also offer 10 channels to select PLDT Triple Play subscribers, rounding out the group's comprehensive multi-platform coverage for the Olympic Games.
We will bring the total Olympics experience and rally the nation's support for our athletes in their bid to finally crack the country's first gold medal.
10 Pinoy athletes will try to give the country its first Olympic gold. These are vaulter Ernest John Obiena, gymnast Kaloy Yulo, boxers Yumir Marshall, Irish Magno, Carlo Paalam, and Nesty Petesio, weightlifter Heidelin Diaz, rower Chris Nevares, gin Kurt Barbosa, and skateboarder Marjeline Didal. U.S. Women Open champion Yuka Sasso is also expected to qualify for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. The Summer Games will take place from July 23 to August 8. Hashtag See Us Stronger. Definitely looking forward to the coverage. Time for another quick break. When we return, the NBI has recommended murder charges against 9 policemen for the killing of Calbayog Mayor Ronald Aquino. And her performance and story will tug at your heartstrings. Meet Nightbird, a contestant on America's Got Talent currently fighting cancer. Her story after the break.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's all right.
Good evening. You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay. One witness in the ambush of Calbayog City Mayor Ronald Aquino says politics was the motive behind the killing. The country's top cop, meanwhile, has placed the accused police officers in restrictive custody. Marlene Alcaide with the details.
The National Bureau of Investigation has recommended the filing of murder and frustrated murder charges against 9 police officers involved in the killing of Calbayog Mayor Ronald Aquino last March. The NBI disputed police claims that Mayor Aquino's camp started the gunfight.
Confident that we have an airtight case, this being a result of a thorough and impartial investigation conducted by our regional office, the Eastern Visayas Regional Office, headed by Acting Regional Director.
The NBI based its findings on the sworn statements of 53 witnesses, as well as CCTV footages minutes before the ambush. The CCTV footage along Maharlika Highway showed that a silver SUV with plate number ZBM 392 abruptly took a U-turn when they came across Mayor Aquino's convoy. The SUV then followed Mayor Aquino's vehicle. A few minutes later, the mayor asked his staff in the backup vehicle to buy something in the market. Aquino's backup vehicle stopped and got separated from the mayor's vehicle. The mayor's van can be seen plying along the highway, while the silver SUV continued to trail the mayor's vehicle. Then, 3 other vehicles can be seen following the mayor's van. When they reached Labuyao Bridge, the white pickup collided with the mayor's vehicle. Then the ambush took place. The white pickup and black SUV immediately fled the crime scene. As CCTV footage, men wearing bulletproof vests and bonnets transferring the long firearms from the white pickup to the black SUV.
As to the CCTV, it will tell us that this is not just a chance encounter.
The NBI found 2 cellular phones in the crime scene. Text messages showed that Mayor Aquino had been subjected to monitoring as early as October 2020. Another text message showed that Aquino had been falsely implicated to illegal drug trade. These messages matched the account of Master Sergeant Jose Senario. He claimed that politics is the motive behind the killing.
Kasi that time, sir, 2 options kasi yung ibinigay sa akin. It's either to apply search warrant or i-ambush na lang si Mayor Aquino. Sinong nagbigay ng option? Si Sir Cabado that time.
PNP Chief Eliazar said he will put these police officers in restrictive custody. Aquino's family thanked the NBI and the Senate. The family remains fearful for their safety, but hopeful that justice will soon be served. For One News, Marlene Alcaide, News 5.
Another big story in sports. Pinoy visual artist Kix is collaborating with Adidas for NBA superstar James Harden's latest signature shoe. The Adidas Harden Volume 5 Manila Heritage will be released tomorrow, just in time for Independence Day. The colorway drew inspiration from the Philippine flag, along with its message of freedom in Sandugo. Harden first debuted the shoes during the Brooklyn Nets Game 5 match against the Boston Celtics. Harden also last visited the Philippines in June 26, 2019, which is also inscribed on the shoe.
Last time I checked, I had some cancer in my lungs, my spine, and my liver.
Wow.
That night, 3 things filled the America's Got Talent auditorium: applause, confetti, and tears. That's after the stellar showing of Ohio's Jane Marczewski, or Nightbird. The 30-year-old performed her original song, It's Okay.
It's alright to be lost sometimes.
The song tackles her battle with cancer that has already metastasized.
You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy.
The judges were stunned by Nightbird's heart-wrenching song, especially the oft-strict Simon Cowell. Of all singers who tried their luck on the AGT stage, they said Nightbird's It's Okay was the most moving and authentic performance thus far. Everybody gave her a yes. save for Simon. But the judge has something else for Nightbird, the much coveted golden buzzer.
Everything about that is really special.
For Nightbird, whatever happens moving forward, she'd surely treasure the golden moment forever.
I have a 2% chance of survival, but 2% is not 0%. 2% is something, and I wish people knew how amazing it is.
For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
Naiiyak pa rin ako.
May maalikabok dito.
Kagabi, I was watching that. Pagising ko kaninang umaga, magang-maga yung mata ko.
Ang daming pinaiyak, di ba? Ang daming nag-post, mga kaibigan natin. Pero talaga naman, that message at the end, di ba? You can't wait for life to be easy or to not be hard before you decide to be happy. That's something that everybody's posting. Certainly true. Let's bring it all together forward in the weekend, Independence Day, and in the future.
Oo. Very timely message from her. And you know what's amazing about her? There were these articles that came out. She blogs about her journey with cancer, and she talks about going through a divorce, going through cancer, and finding God in her pain. You better read that. You better read those articles. Maraming salamat to Nightbird Jane for the inspiration. Well, that wraps up today's big story. Catch us again Monday at 8 p.m. on Signal Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And stay safe, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. We are One News. Have a good evening.